everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're looking at apricots, and I'm doing a little comparison of fresh versus dried versus canned apricots. So when we're looking at fresh apricots, I have a general rule of thumb, and that's fresh is always best when we're talking about fruits and vegetables. And really there's not much difference in that when we're talking about apricots, when we're looking at the nutritional aspect. However, fresh apricots are short in season, they're hard to come by, it's only a short time frame during the year when you're going to find them. They don't travel well, they don't store well. So most of the apricots that are grown are actually dried or canned. Most of them are dried. So our options are limited. But nevertheless, if you do run across fresh apricots during that short time frame when they are available, grab some and then consider them like a gold mine, because they're delicious, fresh like that, and you don't see them very often. So grab some up when you can. Consider it a nice treat. Dried apricots are usually found year-round in most stores, and you can buy them online. They might be sulfured or unsulfured. Most of the apricots that you find will be sulfured. So if they look nice and pretty orange yellow like this one, you can guarantee that that one has been sulfured. The unsulfured ones will be considered healthier in some respects, especially if you don't want to ingest these sulfites. But they will not look as pretty as that one. They'll be very dark, almost ugly, blackish color. So it's a matter of how you intend to use them. Also, the unsulfured ones might be a little bit drier, a little bit chewier than the sulfured ones. And they're not going to last as long as the sulfured ones either. So know that there are some differences. Most of the ones you find in the grocery store will be the sulfured variety like this. You might find some unsulfured ones in a health section of a grocery store or a health food store. Usually, or wherever I live, if I want them, I have to buy them online. Now, the nutritional value of dried apricots is similar to their fresh counterparts, although the vitamin C content will be lower in your dried apricots. And you want to bear in mind, with any dried fruit, including dried apricots, the natural sugar content and the calories will be concentrated when the water is removed. And that's really important because it's very easy to overeat on dried fruit. I'm very guilty of that. Hey, I'll admit it. If you go from bag to mouth, bag to mouth, bag to mouth, man, it's just really easy to keep going with that. Bear in mind that 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of dried apricots will be roughly equivalent to a cup of fresh apricots before they were dehydrated. So if you're doing a lot of eating bag to mouth, you can easily eat more than that amount. And just think about the amount of fresh apricots that's equivalent to. That's a lot, and you're getting quite a powerful punch when it comes down to the sugar and calories. So my suggestion on how to circumvent that problem is not to go bag to mouth, bag to mouth, bag to mouth. Get a small container like this, or a plate, or whatever you have, and divvy out the amount of dried fruit, dried apricots, whatever you're eating, and put it on that plate or in that bowl. Take the original bag, put it away. Put it in the refrigerator, wherever you happen to store it. I think it's best to store them in the fridge. And get it out of reach, and then sit down and enjoy your snack, and that will help to control your portion that you are eating. When it comes down to canned apricots are a handy thing to have in the cupboard, in the pantry, so that when you need them, they are there for you. But when you're shopping for canned apricots, please do read the label, especially if you're trying to avoid added sugars or sweeteners of any type. Most canned apricots will have added sweetener in there. And I tried locally finding some canned apricots to bring to you and show you the differences, but the only apricots I could find locally all had added sweeteners like high fructose corn syrup and whatever, all kinds of added sweeteners to them. They're not on my menu with that. So do look around carefully. They are out there. If nothing else, buy them online if you want some canned apricots to have around, or try a health food store and hopefully you'll find some without the added sweeteners in there. They do exist, maybe not locally. When you're comparing the nutritional aspect of canned apricots versus fresh apricots, believe it or not, it's actually similar, except there will be a little decrease in the vitamin C through the processing of the canned varieties of the apricots. What's really interesting to me is in an article that I found published in 2018 in the Journal of Food Science, researchers compared the nutritional content of fresh, canned, and frozen apricots that came from the same source. Okay, that's an important point. The canned apricots had an increase in antioxidants like beta-carotene and phenols, and again, like I said, a decrease in the vitamin C content. Interestingly, the frozen apricots also had an increased antioxidant level in all their compounds tested, and they remained higher than the fresh ones even 3 months after being frozen. So don't think of canned apricots as being a bad thing as long as they're not packed with added sugar in them. They're actually a healthful food, especially when compared to fresh. They have more antioxidants in them than the fresh ones do. I imagine that the canning process helps to release some of those antioxidants from the cells within and make them more available to the body that way. Anyway, I did want to share all this with you because that's an important point that I would not have expected and most people would not expect as well. I do hope this helps you out. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Bye for now.